G'day everybody, my name is Lyle and welcome to the channel. So we have a reaction video for us today. This is why do American houses have basements when most houses worldwide don't? Now, I'm from Queensland, as you can probably tell by my accent. We're completely opposite. We'll build above ground. We actually build on stilts because it's bloody hot here. And obviously we want the air to circulate underneath the house. So we definitely don't have basements here. I don't think I've ever heard, I'm sure maybe somebody might have a basement in Australia. I've never heard of anybody with a basement in Australia. I know there's houses in some town in Cooperative in New South Wales, which is the whole house underground. But I've never heard of anybody having a basement. So let's jump in and let's have a look at it. Now, I'm assuming it's because of the weather, frost and whatever else. And I'm assuming because of obviously tornadoes, if you're in that alley. So there's obviously going to be quite a few reasons. So let's jump in and let's see what they say.
You've probably watched an American movie where someone walks down creaky wooden stairs into a dark basement. Maybe to do laundry, maybe to hide from a killer, maybe to rummage through Christmas decorations from 1997. It feels normal. It feels expected. But if you grew up almost anywhere else in the world, the idea of having an entire extra floor underneath your house is genuinely strange. Why does a family in Ohio have a finished basement with a pool table and a guest bed?
I mean, if it looks like that, why the hell wouldn't you? Why the hell wouldn't? Where else are you going to put your pool table and where? I would love to have a basement. As I said here, we don't have basements. And also the water table, level as well. The water table level is what I meant to say. If it's very shallow, like some places in Australia, I mean, obviously you're not going to do it. You'd be drowned. But okay.
Why does a family in Ohio have a finished basement with a pool
you?
table and a guest bedroom, while a family in London, Tokyo, or Mumbai usually has nothing under their feet but soil? Here's the part that makes it weirder. Even within America itself, basements basically vanish the moment you cross into Florida or Texas.
I guess it's the soil. I'm assuming Florida's more of a sandy soil than you would get in like the Midwest or something like that. And I'm pretty sure Florida floods a lot. I wouldn't want to be in a basement if it's going to flood all the time. That's for sure.
Basements basically vanish the moment you cross into Florida or Texas. Same country, similar building codes in many ways, completely different foundations.
Completely different.
The answer
geology.
is not tradition. The answer is frozen dirt, water tables, and a math problem most homeowners never see. Here's the thing most people miss. A basement is not really a choice in much of the United States. It is almost a free side effect of something the builder has to do anyway. That something is called the frost line. The frost line is the depth at which the ground actually freezes in winter. And when soil freezes, it expands. If your foundation sits above that line, the freezing ground will push it up, crack it, and slowly destroy your house from below. That process is called frost heave, and it is brutal. So building codes in cold regions force builders to dig the foundation footings below that frost depth. In northern Minnesota,
I guess if you're already digging down that far to build it, you might as well make a basement. Okay. Obviously, we don't have that issue here in Queensland. We definitely don't get frost, that's for sure. Okay.
That line can sit 4 feet down.
Oh.
In parts of Maine, it is even deeper. Once a builder is already digging a hole that deep, the math gets interesting.
Okay.
Going down another 4 or 5 feet to create a full basement only adds about 30 to 40% to the foundation cost. You are already in the hole. Literally.
Make it a basement.
You might as well finish the room.
Yep.
And that is also why roughly a third of American basements end up totally unused, which we will come back to in a minute. So if you are enjoying this kind
Wait, 30% unused? That doesn't seem right. I mean, even if you just got your laundry or storage or something, you're still using it. But I mean, yeah, if you're already down there, you might as well make a room. You might as well. I wonder how much does that add to the total value? He said, what, 30-40% it adds to the foundation cost, which can be a lot. But does it add to the overall cost, benefit to the house? If you're going to sell your house with a basement, does that mean you get an extra 20-30% for it too? I don't know. Who knows?
Totally unused, which we will come back to in a minute.
Okay.
So if you are enjoying this kind of breakdown, hit that subscribe button before you forget. Now flip the map. Drive south to Florida, and basements just disappear. You can search neighborhood after neighborhood in Miami, Tampa, or Orlando and find almost none. The reason is not laziness or cheap construction.
Shallow water.
It is water.
Yeah.
Florida sits on a massive limestone shelf, and the water table in many areas is just a few feet below the surface. Dig down to build a basement, and you are essentially digging a swimming pool.
Yep.
The hole fills with groundwater faster than you can pour concrete. Even if you somehow waterproofed it, the constant pressure from below would crack the walls within years. Add hurricanes, sinkholes, and soil that shifts after heavy rain, and the whole concept becomes structurally insane. So Florida builds slab on grade, a flat concrete pad poured directly on the ground. There is no frost line to worry about, and no reason to dig deeper than you have to. Texas tells a different story, but ends up at the same answer. Much of central and eastern Texas sits on expansive clay soil. This is dirt that swells when it rains and shrinks when it dries.
Yeah.
A basement wall, trying to hold back ground that is constantly breathing in and out, would crack. Within a single season, California adds its own twist. Earthquakes. A heavy underground structure attached to a house creates real problems when the ground starts moving sideways. Slab foundations flex and shift more.
It's amazing you think about it, from Florida to Texas to California, and how many different, the reasons why, obviously the water, the clay, the soil, and then obviously, natural disasters, earthquakes. The North America, that continent is so diverse. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Starts moving sideways. Slab foundations flex and shift more forgivingly. So between geology, climate, and physics, the entire southern third of the country effectively opted out of basements before the question was even asked. Then there's the Midwest, where basements aren't just common. Their survival infrastructure. Tornado Alley runs straight through Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. When a tornado is bearing down on a house at 200 miles an hour,
Jesus, look at that.
The safest place a person can be is below ground. A basement isn't a luxury there. It's the difference between a story you tell at Thanksgiving and a story your neighbors tell about you.
Ooh.
Many Midwestern families do not even use the basement as living space. They use it as a storm bunker, the room you grab the dog and run to when the sky turns green. That is a building motivation no other region really has. But there's another quieter reason basements stuck around, even in places that don't freeze hard or get tornadoes. Call it the mechanical room argument. A typical American house runs on a furnace, a water heater, often a softener, sometimes a sump pump, plus all the electrical panels and plumbing manifolds that tie the whole system together. All of that equipment takes up real space. In countries where homes use compact wall-mounted boilers or tankless heaters, the mechanical footprint is small enough to hide in a closet. But the classic American forced air furnace.
It's funny, we don't have furnace. Obviously, we live in a bloody furnace here in Queensland, but we only have a water heater. That's it, just a cylinder. That's the only extra thing that we have here. I don't think, I've never heard of anybody, even down south where it gets cold, of anybody having a furnace in their house ever in Australia. I've never heard of it. So it's funny I'm going to have to do a video on that, on furnaces, I think.
But the classic American forced air furnace and a 50-gallon tank water heater need somewhere to live. The basement has been the natural answer for 100 years. It hides the ugly stuff, keeps it out of the weather, and gives plumbers and electricians one central place to work. History matters too. Early American settlers, especially in the Northeast, built root cellars to store potatoes, apples, and preserved meats through the winter. Refrigeration did not exist. A cool, dark, underground room was a kitchen tool. As houses grew and coal furnaces replaced fireplaces in the late 1800s,
the hell is that?
That root cellar grew with them.
Wait, what the hell is that? Is that a furnace? What the hell is that?
Furnaces replaced fireplaces in the late 1800s. That root cellar grew with them. The furnace needed space and a chimney connection. The coal needed a bin. The basement formalized into a real architectural feature, and once it was there, the next generation of homeowners just expected it. Habits in construction are sticky, and they outlast the original reason by decades. Here's the surprise. New American construction is quietly walking away from basements, even in cold states. Drive through a fresh subdivision in Colorado, Michigan, or Pennsylvania, and you will see a growing number of slab-on-grade homes going up. Builders prefer them because they are faster, cheaper, and they sidestep the entire waterproofing nightmare. Modern high-efficiency furnaces and tankless water heaters can fit in a closet. And there is a technique borrowed from Scandinavia called frost-protected shallow foundations, which uses rigid foam insulation around the perimeter to keep the ground from freezing under the house. That eliminates the frost line problem without digging at all. So the original engineering reason for basements is slowly being designed out. The basement is becoming optional in places it used to be mandatory. You have been touching this system your whole life without realizing it. That haunted basement trope in every American horror movie only works because most American viewers actually have one. The unfinished concrete room with the lone hanging light bulb. That is a real architectural inheritance from coal furnaces and root cellars. The Midwestern grandparent who tells you to head downstairs the second the sirens go off. That is tornado geography written into the house itself. The Florida retiree whose home sits on a slab. That is a limestone shelf and a high water table making the decision for them. And the new house your cousin is building in suburban Denver with no basement at all. That is modern foundation engineering finally catching up to a tradition nobody ever really chose on purpose. So here's where you land. The American basement is not a cultural quirk. It is a frost line, a water table, a tornado, a furnace, a root cellar, and 150 years of habit, all stacked into one room. Most of the world skipped it because their soil, climate, and heating systems never made it worth the dig. The next time you walk into one, listen for the hum of that furnace. It is the same hum that decided where Americans built their houses in the first place. And if you think basements are strange, wait until we get into why American houses are framed almost entirely out of wood, while the rest of the world builds with concrete and brick. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, consider subscribing so you do not miss future videos.
I tell you what, having a basement sounds like a great idea. It gives you that extra room. As I said, we never have a basement here. That shallow water. We don't really have the soil for it. A lot of, and obviously the heat as well. We try and build our houses up on stilts in Queensland, so we get to dissipate that heat. But basements are, it's one of those things, because we watch a lot of American shows here, movies and everything else growing up. A basement is nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, you got a basement? Cool. It's not one of those things where you come across and go, oh my God, you have a basement. I think it's one of those things that even though we don't have them here, we kind of expect Americans to have them, which sounds silly, putting everybody in the same boat kind of thing. But, because you come to expect it, it's an American movie. All Americans have got basements. Of course they do. But obviously they don't. So, but you can understand, Florida doesn't have it. Texas, California doesn't have it because of earthquakes. It's natural. You can understand that. But if you do have a basement, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would use them, fit them out with bars and whatever else, game rooms, extras, maybe a mother-in-law suite, whatever it is. So I'm sure they come in handy for those who have them. And I'm sure they come in necessary too if you're in Oklahoma, et cetera, for that tornado alley too. So I wish we did basements here. Very, very, very unlikely that we would ever catch on to basements. Instead, we don't have basements. We just build a shed outside. That's our go-to basement in Australia. We have a shed. That's how we do it. So, each their own. So let me know if you enjoyed that one, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. Make sure you stay safe, and I will definitely see you in the next reaction video. Oh, you're still here? You want more content? Why don't you check out my Patreon down here? You'll get plenty more content and some exclusive videos over there too. If not, why not check out this one over here?